don't have to be quiet. It's up to you. We're following your lead. Okay. I don't know.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome,
Good morning.
welcome to Unity of Kent. Happy to see you guys. Matt is here, Linda is here, Becky is here, Patty is here. You're all here.
Are you here? Oh, good. Patty's here, officially.
Very glad that you're here.
It was making comments before we went live that it's so quiet in here right now. So we just need to change. We need to change that dynamic ever so slightly. So
Okay.
we're gonna ease you into it. One,
You'll-
2, 3, 4. This is a nice, easy Sunday morning song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got it. This
it's
is
a
right.
real easy clap.
We're going to embody the spirit. So if at any point you feel like standing and singing and dancing and moving about, please do this. It's all good for us. Shall we?
We come together to behold the power of love, the power of light. We come together to behold. We are divine.
Here we go.
Lift up your hands, lift up our hearts, lift up our vision, lift it to the stars, dance in the glory, whirl in the grace. I see God in every face.
Yes.
I see God in every face. So we've just backed the car out of the driveway, and we're gonna get onto the road here and give it just a little bit of gas, just because you gotta get the motor running.
Yes.
So here we go. Yet again, we come together to behold the power of love, the power of light. We come together to behold. We are divine.
Here we go.
Lift up your hands, lift up our hearts, lift up our vision, lift it to the stars, dance in the glory, whirl in the grace. I see God in every face. I see God in every face. All right, we're taking it out of the neighborhood. We're going to get onto the highway. We're going to we got to get to church, right? On the way to church, here we go. We come together to behold the power of love, the power of light. We come together to behold. We are divine. Lift up your hands, lift up your hearts, lift up your vision, lift it to the stars, dance in the glory, whirl in the grace. I see God in every face. I see God in every face. Okay, now we look at our watches, we realize we're running late, we're going to miss what Patty has to say first thing in the morning. We got to get to church. We got to get to church now, so let's get moving. We come together to behold the power of love, the power of light. We come together to behold. We are divine. Lift up our hands, lift up our hearts, lift stars, dance in the glory, whirl in the grace. I see God in every face. I see God in every face. I see God in every face.
All right. Oh, good. I've had my aerobics today. I feel revitalized, energetic. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to Unity of Kent. Unity of Kent is right on time for June 11th, 2023. And we welcome our musicians, Becky, Matt, and Linda. And our worship assistant this morning is Lee O'Neill. And welcome to all of you on Zoom, as well as everyone here in the sanctuary. My name is Reverend Patty Becker, and it is just a wonder to be the spiritual leader of this community. And I learn something every single week, and I'm pushed to explore more and more of my own spirituality as I serve you and as I experience you supporting me and us supporting our entire community. So thank you. Unity of Kent is welcoming. We invite people of all colors, all cultures, all races, all political persuasions, all financial situations, to be with us, because we are all the people of God, and our purpose, every single one of us, regardless of the circumstances of the world, our purpose is to grow into the fullness of who we are created to be, our spiritual and divine selves. So that's our mission. And we do that through community, joyful community. I'd say this morning has started out pretty joyfully through study, through companionship, through prayer and meditation. And we are here to explore all there is to know and all that beckons us as pilgrims on the path of life. Our teachings are based on those of Jesus as well as New Thought principles. And we are foundationed in the knowledge that each one of us has a spiritual authority for all of our lives. And together as community, we explore what we believe, what brings us forth, as well as what holds us back. And we also are foundationed in the power of our will to change our minds, to change our thoughts, and in so doing, we change our lives. So as our excellent musicians this morning started us with song, I'd like to open our service with prayer. So taking a breath, and you may close your eyes if you choose, if it helps you to focus. And just breathing deeply into that core center of ourselves where we know only peace. And we let go of whatever might distract us in mind or body or spirit today, so that we might be fully present with each other and with our intentions this morning. I declare that we each bring into this room a volume of light and grace, and that we are all blessed by one another. I also know that each of us is poised to receive an inspiration specifically meant for ourselves, very personal today. It may come as an aha, as a piece of wisdom, as a realization, as a moment of waking up. But it is a message, it is an urge, a knowing that enlivens and expands us. And so I give thanks for all of the elements of this service that support us in this knowing. The music, the meditation, time for prayer, and hospitality. So we do lift up our minds, lift up our hearts, lift up our vision, and see each and every one of us here and in the world as an expression of God. And so it is. Amen.
So it is. We have another opportunity to sing together, so I welcome you. This song is by our friend Aaron McGon, based on a lyric or a poem writing from Ernest Holmes, who is known for his spiritual contribution to religious science and unity in the early days. So the words are, there is one life. I'll check. There is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. That's it. Except for the so it is in the middle. But we'll go there in a second. There's two parts. We'll sing at a time or two, and then when you feel comfortable, join us. Or get up and dance some more, because that was really fun. There is one life. Let's give it a try. Oh, there is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. Oh, there is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. Want to give it a try? Here we go. There is but one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. Here's the second part. It goes, so it is, so it is, so it is. Ready? So it is, so it is, so it is, so it is. So it is, so it is, so it is, so it is. Give that a try. So it is, so it is, so it is, so it is. So it is, so it is, so it is, so it is. There is but one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. My life now. So it is. So it is, so it is, so it is, so it is. So it is, so it is, so it is, so it is. There is but one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. Oh, there is one life now. There is one life. My life. God's life. God's life. Nice singing, you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
So it is, so it is, so it is.
So it is, so it is.
We call them the Terrific Trio. Thank you for being here. And thank you all for being here at Unity of Kent this morning. We're having a little projector camera problems. You can't see us, but we can see you. We know you're there. Thank you for coming, those on Zoom and Facebook, and thank you all for being here. My name is Lee O'Neill. I'm the worship assistant today. In your bulletin, you'll find a little yellow piece of paper. If you have a prayer you want to share, you can take time now to fill that out, and Barbara will be good enough to pick those up, and we will bless them a little later. So let's start with our statement of faith. There's one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotence. I trust and align with that power of goodness now. There's only one announcement today, and that's the Spirit Talk will continue on Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. with Reverend Patty. It's always a fun discussion, and it can go many different directions. So if you care to join, you can go to the website, unityofkent.org, to events, and come right into the Zoom. We also are considering having a church picnic in Connie's backyard. She guarantees it won't rain that day. So what we'd like to know is if you would like to have it on Saturday, June 15th, or if you would prefer to have it on Sunday, June 16th, right after service. So could I have a show of hands who prefers Saturday? Okay, Jerry. Anybody else? How about Sunday? Nobody's coming to the picnic? All right, well, we probably will do it on Sunday then. Looks like the best time. Okay, so the virtue today is growing. Growth is the process of expansion and development. It is going from one stage of being to another that is more fulfilled or complete. Growth results from an increase of knowledge, skill, experience, wisdom, or nutrition. And if you'll say the affirmations with me, I am growing. My growth refines my beingness. I provide myself with opportunities for growth. I steadily expand and develop. And the daily word today is grace. With joy and gratitude, I welcome grace. The guiding, healing, harmonizing presence and power of God is everywhere present. Divine grace is mine whenever I say yes to this presence within me. I release any thought that I am unworthy of grace. Nothing I could do or fail to do would ever disturb my divine identity. Grace need not be earned, nor can it be bought. It is inexhaustible. No matter how much comes my way, I can relax in complete trust that even more will be available as I need it. Grace doesn't happen to me, it expresses through me, just as I have been blessed to receive grace when I have needed it. I am honored to be the conduit through which it flows to someone else, blessing them in time of need. Yes, everything is for your sake, so that grace, as it extends to more and more people, may increase thanksgiving to the glory of God. 2 Corinthians 4:15. So for those that are on Zoom, can they unmute? And if you have a prayer you'd like to share, we would like to hear your prayer. Yeah. Do you want to give it to her?
Oh, goodness.
Okay, so that was weird.
The whole day is weird.
Yeah. So unity is foundationed on prayer, and prayer is a backbone of our community and of our individual lives. And it is our good pleasure to pray for others as well as to ask for prayer for ourselves. And so our practice is to rub our hands together to get the energy up. And then we direct that energy towards our prayer box and affirm our knowing, our our statement of faith, that there is one presence and one power active in the universe, active in my life, active in the lives of my loved ones. This presence and power is absolute good. Its will is only for good, and it is the will of ourselves to express this good in our lives to the highest and best of our ability. This presence and power is impartial, and this presence and power is the animator and the director of our lives. And so it is our pleasure and our faith, also our confidence, to let go and let God be active within every situation that we face. To know that the activity of God is moving ourselves as well as our loved ones to expanded realms of life. And our prayer now supports that life. It is so wonderful to have this vehicle, this prayer vehicle, through which to create and to know and to express. And so it is with great gratitude that we let go and let God be God in all of our lives, in all of our circumstances. And so it is. Amen.
So now it's time for handshakes and hugs.
reason's fast, the spirit's slow, to where we think we need to go. When we move in to passing gear, the song of love is hard to hear, till everything's so loud that we're alone with what we're missing. Listen, listen. Somewhere beneath the sea of noise, we hear the angel's whispered voice. The song is there, the words are clear, and all we need is still right here. Listen. The harmony of wings in flight, rising of the wind at night, the breaking of the ocean waves will call the heart that's half awake. The sound of every breath we take will free a soul from prison. Listen, listen. Somewhere beneath the sea of noise, we hear the angel's whispered voice. The song is there, the words are clear, and all we need is still right here. Listen, for all we're worth, the door to heaven's here on earth. A shout for joy, the softest prayer, the sound of love is in the air. Listen, listen. Somewhere beneath the sea of noise, we hear the angel's whispered voice. The song is there, the words are clear, and all we need is still right here. Listen, 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 listen.
Thank you. Hi. Oh, good. Thank you for the greeting. Oh, good morning again. That was a great song. I was listening, and now I'd like to just look and just to see each one here, and to just take in your smiles, your presence, the light that you bring with you. It's such a blessing, to be in one another's light. For the last 3 weeks, I have spent most of my time on Hood Canal. You all know that I have a place where I go there. And it's my aunt's house, really. And the day is punctuated. There's 2 bookmarks from the morning and the evening. And the morning, and both of them happen on the deck of the house, and it overlooks the water. So the morning is punctuated with being on the deck and with a cup of coffee and being quiet. And the end of the day is sitting on the deck with an adult beverage, being quiet. And in that quiet, I have found the opportunity and the quenching of a thirst, the quenching of a soul thirst for deep listening. And it's so infilling to be in that kind of quiet. When I'm in my home at Tacoma, it's so noisy. And it's noisy here, even in this sanctuary. On a Sunday morning, it can be very, very noisy with sirens and traffic and trains. And so even in this sanctuary, to have an extended period of deep listening is rare. And in that listening, I have not had any what you might call revelations or deep thoughts or nuances of wisdom, but just the opportunity of breathing without hurry. And I notice that in most of my life, I hold my breath because of activity. And that deep natural rhythm gets sidetracked sometimes. And that is the point of having a practice of prayer and meditation, not a practice filled with words, but a practice of deep listening and quiet. Today, I want to speak about God-mind. I had a different, but the principles of God-mind. We talk about the mind of God. We are aware of God-mind. We speak of God as mind. And what is God's mind? We know God not to be a person, but to be an energy, to be almost a process, to be very active. God, for me, is a verb. It's activity, it's unfolding, it's expanding, it's creating. And in unity metaphysics, God as mind is described by the 3 ohms. Remember the 3 ohms? Omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence. So omniscience is that the mind of God is believed to possess infinite knowledge, and even that description is not quite accurate, because God-mind doesn't possess. God-mind is that which is infinite knowledge and understanding. God-mind is the knowingness of universal principle. Omnipotence is that the mind of God, the God that is mind, it has unlimited power. It expresses, it is power itself. It doesn't possess power to exert. Rather, it is what power is. And it's unlimited. And it is active in the universe. And it's able to bring forth that which we experience as reality. It brings forth all that we see as the world or as the universe. And then the 3rd ohm is God is omnipresence. Not omnipresent, not a being having time and space, but omnipresence. It means that it is this Goddedness, this energy, this mind is non-local, that it transcends time and space, that its consciousness is not limited to a specific location or confined to a body or a being, but rather it is a beingness. And it extends beyond all boundaries. And in this sense of omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence, it's hard for our minds to conceive of that because it's so much beyond what we experience. And yet we constantly try to anthropomorphize God in order to have relationship with something that we know. But we don't know this. God cannot be defined or tacked down or studied or known in a knowledge kind of way. The way we know God is through experience. We experience God. Another attribute of God mind is that it's transcendent. It exists beyond and surpasses all limitations of our physical world, even of our own imaginations. It's infinite consciousness. God is the consciousness and awareness that does not end. It encompasses all knowledge, all understanding, and all experiences across what we know to be the universe, or what we think we know to be the universe. God is also divine unity. And in this unity, it includes everything. This unity is all that we experience, all that we see. It is the web of connectivity. God as unity doesn't have separate arenas where it operates, and that these arenas don't mesh or overlap. These arenas are one arena. And within this one arena, there are a multitude of experiences, but we are all connected in this web of energy. That we also have a knowing, a sense of God as love and compassion. God as mind, in many traditions, is filled or expresses unconditional love, compassion, and benevolence. Well, a God that we declare every Sunday to be absolute good must express that love and compassion and benevolence, and it extends care and support to all of the universe, to all of creation. God as creative power is that principle that creates, that brings into beingness. Not apart from itself, but as itself. It morphs itself into a myriad of expressions and experiences. It can manifest and shape the world according to divine intention, according to goodness, according to its nature. God is present everywhere in the universe as intelligence, and this universal intelligence, this mind of God, creates with thoughts and ideas. God ideas, or the ideas of God, are labeled in unity philosophy as the 12 powers, those spiritual faculties that we share in this creative power. So we are not apart from God. God is not apart from us. We are an expression, individualized expression of a universal presence and power. I do pottery, and the word that comes to mind is we've been extruded. Do you know what an extruder is? Okay. Well, okay, somebody does. And I would love to have an extruder. I don't have an extruder, but I've seen an extruder. And at least in the world of pottery, where we potters use clay and sometimes have clay left over, vessels that have collapsed and so forth, you can put it into an extruder, and it's a machine, and it has a hole up here, I think, but things go into this hole, so it's sort of like a cylinder with a portal on top. And then I believe it has something like grinders inside that rotate. And so it mixes all this clay together. And then when it's time, and then when it's all mixed up, it extrudes it. So have you ever used a food chopper, a food grinder? It's sort of like that, wouldn't you say, Linda? Yeah, and so then there's, under extreme pressure, this clay is extruded, it's pushed out into the end of this massive, and it's not big, but it's a very heavy machine to take all of that pressure. And so I think of that I've been extruded by the universe, that not quite as, yes, as powerfully, that I and each one of us in this room is an idea in divine mind that's been extruded into life as an expression, another expression of life. And so all that God is, we are. We're in varying degrees, but it's the same nature. That's what unity metaphysics teaches, that God is presence everywhere, that the presence of the mind of God is within each one of us. And we can never be taught, it can never be described to us, but in full, but we experience it. It's through our own minds that we have access to God mind. The mind of God implants its own faculties, as we were extruded, implants its own faculties within our own beingness. And because we have because we are composed of divine mind, made in the image and likeness, and so divine mind is that image and likeness, as God is limitless in ideas, so too are we. That there's no limitation to our ideas, our minds, our thinking, our thoughts. That we're always having thoughts. Now, most of the time, we have the same thoughts that we think over and over again, right? And the same thoughts that we think over and over again, right? That's me. And the same thoughts. What is that? We think is that playback? Again, right? That's me. And the same thoughts. What is that? We think is that playback? Oh right? No. That's me. And the same thoughts. What is that? We think is that playback? Oh right? No. That's me. Oh. I have just been in the mind of God. Are we done with that part yet? Connie? Are we done with that kind of thing? All right. Okay. So God mind is always delivering a steady supply of ideas to us, and it's up to us which ideas we act upon and which ideas we put into motion, which ideas we wish to expand. And whatever we select to bring forth in our lives, we put our attention to that. And then through our attention and focus onto that idea, it stirs the energy, that verbal kind of energy, that very active energy, and it is manifested. And this is what Unity calls the Trinity. Mind, idea, and manifestation. And mind, idea, and manifestation is the process of creation. It is through our own minds that we attain access to God mind, and God mind is always delivering ideas. And this ability of our individual minds to incorporate ideas from divine mind into our own makes each of us a creator. It makes each of us very unique and in the world, in the experience of life itself. Now, I know that we humans have this, and to be very honest with you, I don't know if there are other beings that have this ability. In Unity Metaphysics, it says that only humans have this ability, or that humans are the highest expression of intelligence. Personally, this is not Unity teaching, but personally, I doubt that. I have doubts around that. That's one of the things spiritually I'm working with. But I believe that there are multiple levels of intelligence and engagement with divine ideas. However, in our world, we use the creative process to create our life. If we don't like what we're experiencing now, we can have an idea of what we want our life to be, focus on that idea, be divinely inspired as how to proceed with that, or simply to bring it into prayer and let it tell us, let it lead us to our next steps. And that would be what Unity calls the divine plan. We have an idea of what we want ourselves to experience at a divine level and in our physical level, and it's up to us to create a divine plan, to create a plan to bring that forth. That God having a plan outside of itself or ourselves for us, that we just need the map. We just need to find the map, and then we need to find where you are here part. And then this map will tell us how do we get there, which is enlightenment. I don't think it works that way. Divine mind, God, is absolute good. Its will is for absolute good to become manifest. And because we are the embodiment of divine mind, we can bring forth the ideas and develop the plan to fulfill the will of goodness in our life. The hang-up comes with free will and the human ability to change its mind and to disassociate from divine ideas and get into ego and get into our own ideas. And that's the importance of developing a meditation life, of finding the quiet, of getting away from the noise. Mostly it's the noise of our own ego. And to tune in to the quiet of divinity within us, as us, directing us, encouraging us, calling us to certain pathways where we can develop to the highest degree, where we can expand to our greatest potential. But in terms of potential, I don't believe there is a ceiling on that. We have unlimited potential. We may have limited ideas from time to time, but the potential and the call to develop that potential is limitless. Divine mind gives birth to the ideas or thoughts that we have. The mind then takes these ideas and gives it energy. We focus on those ideas. And then the expression of those ideas, or the reality of those ideas in our lives, becomes manifest as our lived experience. This is how God works, and this is how we work. Holy Spirit as us works in us as us. And so it's a very orderly, very clear process. Mind, idea, and manifestation. So I'd like to shift into meditation. That God as mind, the God principle as mind is my mind, is your mind. God as mind is active right now in each one of our lives. God as mind is a principle that is consistent. It's not capricious. It doesn't make decisions. It doesn't decide. It can't decide. It just is. It doesn't evaluate. It doesn't establish deserving or non-deserving. It is consistent. It is a law. It is the truth as we know it. Divine mind as the essence of our being knows how to live our lives in perfection. Our challenge is to let ourselves be lived through God mind. As love, as compassion, as life, as wisdom, as abundance, to be lived as all that God is. So there's a place in each one of us where that truth rings true, rings true. It's what I call within us our sweet spot. A place of perfect harmony, balance, and fullness. And so right now in you, as we become quiet, find that place. And for the next few moments, just set up your deck chair and sit in that place, deeply listening. I am the mind of God, experiencing itself as what we call human. I am the mind of God. Aligning myself with this truth, with this reality, as being the mind of God. And expressing as God mind. Is heaven on earth. And I wish you all heaven on earth. And as we slowly allow ourselves to come back from meditation, carrying its messages and its refreshment, we are infilled with music. And so it is. Amen.
I see with the eyes of God, with the mind of God, and all is revealed. I am with the mind of God, with the mind of God, and all is revealed. I see with the eyes of God, with the eyes of God, and all is revealed. I see with the eyes of God, with the eyes of God, and all is revealed. I am with the mind of God, with the mind of God, and all is revealed. I am with the mind of God, with the mind of God, and all is revealed.
Well, here comes that train. It's and I truly confess that it is hard for us to imagine God mind. We have some words, we have some phrases, we have some beliefs, and yet when we truly release ourselves into the mind of God, it's really a challenge, and I recognize that. And because I struggle with that, I keep coming back. I keep this dance of my life and God life, my life My mind, God mind. And I think that's what our spiritual practice is all about. It's really a dance. Our spiritual practice is a dance with God, God mind, and dancing with the awareness and the realization of how that mind lives as me, lives out itself as me, and as you. Well, now for something completely different, which is the offertory, but it is also connected in that God mind, as knowing only abundance and prosperity, gives us an opportunity to align our mind with God mind, our ego mind with God mind, in the realm of there is no lack. There is not a consciousness in God mind. God mind's consciousness has no experience of lack at all. And so moving our mind into God mind is wonderfully freeing when we truly get it, that there is no lack. There is no lack. And to that end, we have a prosperity affirmation this morning that we have adopted for every Sunday. And it's in your bulletin if you have it. It's right before the offertory blessing. And so every Sunday we will say together as community this prosperity affirmation. And we'll say it together and we'll say it out loud as we move forward as a church, as a community, into greater and greater growth and fulfillment. And if you read it with me, it's every moment is a gift of unlimited possibilities and everlasting peace. So let's say that together. Every moment is a gift of unlimited possibilities and everlasting peace. So, okay, that was great practice. Now let's say it with intention. Every moment is a gift of unlimited possibilities and everlasting peace. And as you take your love offering in your hand this morning, what happened is that the lamp, the light bulb in the projector went out. I think it lasts for about, 15 years? 10 years. Well, apparently today's the day that it went out, so it'll be back. We'll have it next week. So the offertory blessing is in the bulletin. We can say it together as we hold our offerings in our hand. Together, divine love flowing as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. And Guy will go around and collect our offerings. And as we did with our prayers, our blessing the prayers, we do so blessing our offerings by rubbing our hands together, letting the energy flow from our essential life to join others in their essential life. The one presence and one power is infinite abundance, and I give thanks on behalf of the community for the sharing of these gifts, but more importantly for the sharing of the consciousness of abundance. in our individual lives and in our community lives. Knowing this truth brings freedom and joy. And it is our good joy to be good stewards of our abundance and to share it. I share it with the larger community outside of Unity of Kent to other places. Not only in the form of dollars, but in the form of blessing. Recognizing that in God mind we are all one, all interconnected, all interdependent. And so I am grateful. And so it is. Amen. Well, this is the end of our service, so we can go home now. No. We're going to circle up and do our peace song. Since our projector is out, we'll just have to rely on our musicians heavily for the peace song. And yeah.
Your food in the fridge.
Yeah.
Can I put it out?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Wow. Look around our circle.
I see God in every face.
I see God in every face. Yes. All right.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light that is God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love that is God. The power of God protects us. I am the power that is God. And the presence of God watching over us. I am that presence that is God. And all is well. Okay. Please join us for hospitality downstairs. We're celebrating. This is the last class for those who have been in the 4 agreements class. And so it's a graduation, and how fortuitous that there were graduation balloons out this weekend. Oh, really? So we have extra goodies, and come and share conversation.
We have to eat fast.
Yeah, I went over a little bit.